everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I have a good friend and a very special guest. And we're going to be talking about skincare and sleep routines because you all know, as a sleep expert, one of the things I love to promote is, of course, having those sleep routines. But then one thing that I realize is so important is also having really good skincare. So we're going to kind of merge this together. And who better to talk to us about this than the very, very own skin expert herself, Dr. Mary Alice Mina. It's so good to have you here, Dr. Mina.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I mean, I feel like a sleep expert since I had you on my podcast, which your episode is out today, and I learned so much. But yes, not a sleep expert, skin expert. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love to be here.
Thank you so much. Yes, and if you guys are on, once you're done with this live, I want you to go into our stories. You'll see it there and you'll find the link and all that good stuff. So it was such a good episode. But maybe let's start with you just introducing yourself because I know I'm not going to do it justice.
Yeah. Well, hold on. My son is coming in here. Okay. So I'm Dr. Mina. I'm a double board certified dermatologist, and I have predominantly a procedural dermatology practice in Atlanta, Georgia. So I joke I'm like Dr. Pimple Popper, East Coast. So I do a lot of skin cancer surgery and cyst and lipomas. But I'm also like a mid 40s year old woman and mom, and I'm noticing my skin changing. And so I also have an interest in just how do we keep our skin as healthy as possible for as long as possible, especially because I want to avoid, if I can, getting a skin cancer down the road. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I also have a podcast called The Skin Reel where I just try to give good information about skin health to people. I find there's a lot of skincare, it's everywhere. And there are a lot of people trying to push things on you and tell you to buy things. And it's hard to know what's hype, what's truth. And so I hopefully am just like a voice of reason out there for people.
Yeah, no, and that is so true because I go to the skincare aisle and it's extremely overwhelming. I'm just like all I'm looking for is like a good, decent moisturizer, and you're just like swamped. So
I
I think
know. I get overwhelmed.
I think we have to definitely delve into how do you even pick those products. But let's even start with the basics. Like, why is skincare important? Listen, I have teens now, and I have friends who have teenagers. And I had one come spend some time with us recently and would spend an hour doing this skincare routine. So clearly, this is a thing. But first,
Oh,
maybe just
yeah.
tell us a little bit about why is it important to even pay attention to this?
Yeah, well, so I think a lot of people understand they equate skincare with beauty care,
Mm,
and then it sort of stops at that. And
mm.
so then for the people who are like, well, I don't care about how I look, which could be like a lot of a significant number of people, then they sort of think, oh well, I don't need to do skincare then. So I think that's like the first thing we need to address is that skincare is not just beauty care; it's actually I say it's whole body care.
Yeah.
But yeah, our skin, I mean, our skin is more than just, also people think of our skin as just our faces. So we forget we have skin all over our bodies that we need to take care of, not just our face, and it's not just beauty. Although that obviously is a component of it. And I'm certainly not delusional that if you like people want to look good and they want to then they feel good too.
Mm.
But our skin is so important. It covers our body. It's the first defense against chemicals and pathogens and harmful things, perfing our hearts and our lungs and our brain and all that stuff. So our skin is this protective outer covering. Our skin has this robust immune system and immune surveillance that helps keep us healthy. And when it goes awry, you can get, inflammatory conditions and autoimmune conditions. Um, our skin, I mean, it helps regulate our temperature. Our skin is also our hair and our nails. Like those are the what we call adnexal structures of our skin. So our skin is much more complex than I think a lot of people give it credit for. We just get sort of focused on what our faces look like, and we don't
Mm.
move beyond it. So, and I think that's where this sort of like beauty craze is coming about. And I think also people are thinking of it the wrong way. They think, oh, I need to buy all these things to make my
Mm,
skin look beautiful. But really, it's like the opposite. We got to actually start from the inside out, because our skin, that's one of the things I love about dermatology, is a mirror, or like a window into our inner health. And so
wow.
I can sometimes, and I have made diagnoses of internal things going on with someone because of what I'm seeing on the skin. So it's more than just Botox and fillers and looking great, although that is a component of it, and I know that makes people feel good too. So yeah, I mean, I won't say it's the most important organ out there, but it's
It's
important.
pretty important. Yes, yes. No, I love that. Like what you said, which is that skincare is not just beauty care. I think when we think about skincare, we're thinking about, that warm glow, no wrinkles, and that's about it. And that's just, that's not even close to being it. So can you just share? There's something you said, like your skin is a reflection of your inner health. So, in terms of just trying to optimize skin care and skin health, what are just some very practical things that you would start with when you talk to patients?
Well, since I'm on your show, let's talk about sleep. And I think anyone listening who has ever had a newborn,
Mm,
or had a stressful job, or pulling all nighters studying, can see, how do you look the next morning? Do
mm,
you look great, or do you look a little like ragged, and you get the dark circles
yes.
under the eyes and puffiness, and then you're not making great choices about what you're eating, and you're snapping at people, right? But like, I
Hmm.
think everyone who's pulled an all nighter, and I think everyone has, and if you have a newborn, it goes on, it's more than just one. You don't look good. You notice it in your skin pretty immediately.
Mm,
So, and this is something, like, I think our society, we really like, or we always want to be busy, like that's seen as like, um bragging rights, and
yeah.
like not sleeping a lot, like, oh, I don't sleep, that's for like weak people. but
Hmm.
but really, as you've taught me, that that is so important. It's important for our skin. Our skin needs that time to remove damaged cells, and for blood flow, and you can see it, I'm not just saying it,
Hmm.
like, and that's why we
Yeah.
call it beauty sleep, right? So
Hmm.
sleep's important. Diet is huge, and I hope the word is getting out, right? Like, we definitely have a problem in our country with obesity, with our diet, and the amount of processed foods we're eating. And this is like out of my zone of genius, like, per se, but I'm interested in it because of the impact on our overall health and our skin.
Mm,
And we know that eating a ton of sugar and processed foods is going to break down your collagen faster
mm,
than not doing that. So if you don't want to eat well and eat whole foods, for the rest of your body, then at least do it for your skin.
mm,
Um, and then the other, and a huge one, that if people just did this, if they just try to not get burned, and try to what's like, they would try to limit the sun exposure they have, that
yeah.
would make a huge impact in your
Mm,
skin. I mean, I would say there are few things that age your skin faster than sun damage.
mm,
Unfortunately, I see it a lot of times, on the other end, when
yeah.
someone's already developed a skin cancer. But not smoking, right? I think the message is out about that, right? Like, not to
Hmm.
smoke. But alcohol too can affect our skin, especially if you're drinking several glasses, even wine, which we used to think was so healthy. And I
Mm,
enjoy wine too. I'm not saying, like, don't have things you enjoy in your life, but just be a little aware of it. And certainly, if you're doing it in excess, that's also going to age your skin as well.
okay. I love all this, especially the fact that you started with sleep, because those, why is it that after, if you either don't sleep well, and I see this with kids, I see this with parents, and that's usually how some parents know that their kids sleep is off, because sometimes they put them in the bedroom, in the room, and they walk out, they don't really know what happens all night, but they're like, well, this child is waking up tired. and has these bags under their eyes. What is that? Is that related to the collagen? Is that related to just really not going through that entire rejuvenation process because of poor sleep or lack of sufficient sleep? What really brings that about?
Yeah, so it's probably different for different people.
Mm,
Um, some people just have more darkness under
mm,
their eyes, and then that can be accentuated. But when you're not sleeping well, you're getting less blood flow to the skin, and when you
yeah.
have less blood flow to the skin, then your skin can get real sallow looking, and you can
Mm,
get discoloration there. For other people, you'll get puffiness, and also
mhm,
depending on kind of what you ate the night before, a lot of salt or not,
mm,
then you can get that puffiness under there, which I feel like tends to happen when you're a little bit older too, when your lymphatics are not functioning as well. But that puffiness will be there. And some people who have more transparent skin like me,
mm.
then you may notice more of the blood vessels there, almost like
Um,
how your eyes get bloodshot.
yeah.
So just like I remember you were saying in my podcast about the brain needing to be able to remove those like amyloid deposits and
Mhm,
everything to decrease Alzheimer's. Think of sleep doing that for your skin as well,
mm,
removing harmful, free radicals and
mm.
things that are damaging our skin.
Mhm.
And when we don't do that, then it comes out as puffiness, swelling, discoloration.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so good. That makes so much sense. It does make absolute sense. So I wanted to follow up on what you said about minimizing sun exposure. So here I'm a circadian rhythm, advocate, right? I want people to have good sleep and have their internal clocks really well aligned. And one of the things we push for is spending time outdoors, especially probably earlier in the day, of course, not when the sun is at its peak. And also, we encourage physical activity, especially for kids and also adults, because that promotes good sleep. So, how do we make sure we're not speaking with two sides of our mouth, so to speak? Like minimize sun exposure, but get outside. Like, how do you strike that balance?
Yeah, well, I guess I probably should correct what I said. It's not so much minimize. When I
Yes,
say minimize sun exposure, I mean like unprotected
got it.
sun exposure. So, yeah,
Got it.
no, I am all on board with you as well. Like, I need to be out in nature. I love to sit on my porch. I
Mm,
love to take walks. I love to hike. I love to bike ride. So, yes, all of those things. Please do those things. Do
mm.
not sit in your dark room and with the blinds shut and everything. Like, no. So I should have been more careful in how I worded that. But
Oh, that's okay.
ways to be it's just like driving a car. Like, you can drive a car recklessly, or you can drive a car responsibly and
Mm,
buckle up and follow the speed limit. So what I do when I'm outside, because I have kids too, and I'll be outside, is I always wear sunscreen. So every
mhm,
morning I put my sunscreen on. Here's the reality: no one puts as much sunscreen on as they should, and I know this because studies have shown that whether you wear sunscreen or not, it doesn't impact your vitamin D levels. So for most
mm,
people, you're still going to get more sun exposure than you realize for most people.
mm,
Now, someone with darker skin, someone who's older, and someone who maybe lives somewhere where there truly is not a lot of sun during the winter months, or they have very short daytime, those people could be impacted more severely than someone like me in Atlanta. But in general, most people are getting more ambient sun than they realize. But
mm,
I wear sunscreen. And then when I know I'm going to be outside, I know I'm going to be bike riding, I'm going to be hiking, I always have a hat, and
mm,
I wear a lot of sun protective clothing. And I find it's like yoga clothing. Like, it wicks away the sweat. It's really breathable. It's like having a shade for your skin,
mm,
whether it's a hat or a long sleeve shirt. And like, don't picture like a long sleeve cotton or wool shirt. This is like fabric that's meant to breathe. So it's not
mm,
uncomfortable. If anything, it's more comfortable because I'm not so hot.
mm,
Um, I mean, I would just say, like, look at cultures like in the Middle East where people wear, like, I don't know the name of it, but like the
mm.
men wear the long like, I'm just picturing like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, yeah.
They're covered up. They're not wearing tank tops. And now
Mm,
you may say, well, that's for different reasons, but I bet some of it is also just to protect from the sun because it's so intense. So
Mm,
if you go outside to eat lunch, then eat under the umbrella. Just
mhm,
making like little choices like this
mhm.
can really help you. So we're on the same page. Absolutely, be in
Yeah,
nature, be exposed to the sun. Like right now, I'm getting this afternoon sun coming in my window,
love
but
it.
just yeah, you just be smart about it.
Yeah, I love it. Do it responsibly.
Exactly.
Sunscreen, absolutely. And then probably not necessarily being outdoors when it's like really at its peak. Like in the summer, it's uncomfortable. Like it's
Oh
actually
my
dangerously
gosh!
hot. So, um,
Right.
and so I think there's really no excuse not to be outdoors. I think that's the goal of it. It helps your sleep. It helps your mood, and it helps because you're out there exercising, which is all good.
Yes, and all that's gonna make your skin look good, you're gonna
Yes.
get better sleep, it's a win-win, right? It's amazing how when you actually take care of yourself,
Yes.
these things fall in place.
Yes, absolutely. So I have a question. Let's get into some really practical things now. Three groups, right? So kids who couldn't care less, especially maybe like in the summer, they're outdoors, they're swimming a lot, they're doing all kinds of things. What are just some general recommendations in terms of skin care routines for that age group? Like, how can parents support their kids' skin health and really set them up such that as they get older, this is something that they know to do naturally?
Yeah, so it as a mom of a 9 and 10-year-old, I have been there. So the struggle is real, right? Um, so I would say that number one is just model healthy behavior. They
Mm,
are watching us all the time. They notice. So my kids know when mom takes us to the playground or when we go for a walk, mom grabs her hat. Then I'm all and I usually when they're real little, I grab their hats too. And we just know we wear our hats when we go outside. And so they'll wear it. And now that they're older, they want to actually pick out their hats and my son prefers a baseball cap. So I mean there's a little give and take, right? I'm not
mhm.
so I mean ideally it would be with the brim all the way around, but you take what you
What you
can
can.
get. That's right. But they just know, like, if I didn't have my hat, they'd be like, "What's going on, mom? You don't have your hat." They just know that that's what we do when we go outside.
Mhm,
And they see me put my sunscreen on every day. And when they were younger, we would have to put it on them. And then they started really liking to put it on themselves and they would use a stick. I've seen some parents give their kids like a makeup brush, a foundation brush, and they can kind of paint it on, which is fun.
mhm.
Um, and let's see. Oh, now that my kids are older, they're more into beauty stuff and products. And I'm not for letting your kid, I don't think you should let your kids just use whatever they want in their skin.
Yeah.
My son is a big Ariana Grande fan, and I guess he read somewhere that she likes Elta MD sunscreen, and that's one of the ones I use. And so now he's like, "Mom, can you buy me one?" I was like, "Absolutely." So if there's like a sunscreen that's going to just excite them, even if it's because a celebrity uses it, if it's a good product, just let them have it. And
Mhm,
they like it just like when we like products, we wear it. So
mhm,
don't force them to wear something that they don't like how it feels or it's sticky. Let them play around with it and find when they like. And then that sunscreen goes right by their toothbrush. So they
mhm,
know every day. We don't debate whether we should brush our teeth in the morning, just like
mhm,
debate whether we should put the sunscreen on. But I think it starts with them just seeing you do it. And
mhm.
also, we don't want them to see you picking your face apart, like picking meaning like figuratively saying, "Oh, I'm so ugly," or "Look at these
Mm,
wrinkles," or "My skin looks so gross." We want to
mm,
foster like positive
mm.
positive behaviors. Like
Yeah.
we don't want them to see us with this complicated routine and always criticizing how we look, because then they're going to think, "Oh, that's normal, that's what we should do." And then yeah, but those are kind of like the main things.
Mm,
With the beach and everything, my daughter now, she wants a bikini, but I let again, I compromise. I say you can have a bikini, but you or two piece, but you've got to wear your sun shirt when we're outside. It's
mm.
the sun is out, it's the beach or the pool. But then if it's more in the evening,
Yeah.
then she can take it off.
Got it. I love that compromise. So
Yeah.
how about like, a lot of times with, as part of one of the things I know that especially parents who have young kids, lotion and a massage and oils and moisturizers. What are your thoughts on that? Especially as part of their bedtime routine?
Well, I think having a bedtime routine is important.
Hmm.
I tend to like more like reading together,
Hmm.
and but when my kids were little, bath was a part of that.
Yeah.
But now they're older, they shower themselves, and they actually have their own little routine. I see their stuff in the shower. They like shampoo that smells good, but
Mm.
again, I'm still buying the products and making sure that it's not going to hurt their skin. But
Yeah.
here's a tip, actually, like, don't just assume your kids know what to do with the product. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden I found some stuff gone from my, I get a lot of like samples and products. And so I looked and saw some stuff was missing. I went to my kids' bathrooms and saw it there. And I was asking my son, like, what are you putting the Aquaphor on? And he was putting his Aquaphor on what he thought was a pimple, which is not the right thing to do. So, I just needed to educate him. He was kind of embarrassed to ask me
Aw.
about how to actually do it. So I don't assume they know how to soap up, and where to soap up and what to use as soap. You make sure they're not using soap in their hair, and they're
Mm.
actually the right products, because I think you might be surprised. They might be embarrassed to ask you, and I think maybe boys might be even more hesitant. And you just want to make sure whatever they're using it appropriately, and
Got it.
not just going through your stuff and grabbing it. But I think if you enjoy doing like a routine with your kids, as long as it's not hurting your skin, it's not hurting
Mm.
your budget, and it's for fun, I mean, then enjoy that. And I think, again, you're modeling good behavior, like we
Mhm.
moisturize, but I wouldn't start doing a lot of like exfoliants and a lot of products, because I think
Mm.
you're setting, like, that's unnecessary, and we don't want them thinking, oh, I should be doing, I mean, I don't do that in the evening,
Mm.
you know,
Mhm.
middle
Mhm.
age. So, I would say as long as it's, like, appropriate and not complicated, because they don't need complicated routines. Like,
Mhm.
skin they have right now is like the best it's ever gonna be. It's gonna have the most collagen it's ever gonna have.
Yeah, that's true. So how about teens who are really I get this a lot. Actually, younger and younger kids are storming Sephora for all kinds of products. They're pretty much sometimes even delaying bedtime because they're doing this very exhaustive, all kinds of products go in, and like you said, some exfoliation, some all so many things. What would be just a practical for that, maybe that teen who's like, well, I want to take better care of my face. What would be like maybe some two or three things that should be part of that kind of routine? What do you think?
Well, really, you just need 2 things, I think, period. So, you need a gentle cleanser and,
Hmm.
maybe a moisturizer. Now, a
Okay.
lot of, like, teens are maybe struggling with acne,
Hmm.
but even with acne-prone skin, especially if they're treating it with products, their skin can be dry. So,
Mm.
a moisturizer, I would say those are, like, the 2 must-haves. But if your teen is struggling with acne, they may need something extra, like benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid. Um, but avoid. They do not need vitamin C serums. They only need vitamin A, like a retinoid, if they're struggling with acne and treating that.
Mm.
They do not. I think these kids they're taking it too far, and they're
Yeah.
actually damaging their skin barrier, which is not as fully developed as adults, and they don't need these things that their mothers are using.
Yeah.
And it's sad that there a lot of this stuff is being marketed to them,
It's
and
targeted.
they're
Hmm.
also they're children, right? They're not we shouldn't expect them to be able to like fight this marketing power when even as adults we struggle with it.
Yeah.
So again, this is where I think the modeling comes in. Like,
Mm.
you don't need to do all that for healthy skin, and
Mm.
and then let them have some fun. I mean, I remember wanting to do make at home like avocado face mask when I was younger, and no, it burned. It didn't help, but I had to learn it. I had to learn that the hard way. But we don't want them to harm themselves. But
Mhm.
again, like maybe let them pick out a cleanser that they
Sure.
like.
Yeah.
Not if it's $100,
Mm.
okay? But let them pick out a cleanser or pick from a couple that you choose, and maybe let
Mhm.
them pick out a moisturizer that they
Mhm.
like. But they don't need all these actives that they keep hearing
Yeah.
about. And if anything, it's going to harm their skin
Mm.
more than help. So yeah, I guess I try to redirect that into other healthier things as well. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, when I see these complicated routines, it really
It
like
is.
breaks my heart.
It's taking up a huge chunk of their lives.
Oh my
So,
gosh, totally. It is. Yeah, like go. I remember though. I mean, I think just being young, I remember being in medical school, and every single morning I would wash my hair, I would dry my hair, I would curl my hair, I would put on makeup and foundation and all this, and it took me, I think, an hour and a half every single morning. I want that time back. Like,
but
I'm mad at myself for wasting all that time,
that's what I'm about to
all
say.
those
Like,
hours
wow.
of
Yeah.
my life. And like,
Yeah.
I really don't think I looked any different than I do now doing like washing it once every 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think let them have some fun, but just
Mm.
responsibly. Let them pick out maybe one thing. But if
Yeah.
you're a parent or mom listening, like they do not need to be spending all this money. You don't need to be spending all this money
Mm.
on these
Mhm.
products.
Okay, that's a good segue now to moms. So, busy mom who wants to look good, wants to feel good. What are just some practical tips for maintaining healthy skin?
Yeah. Well, so first and foremost, do all those things we were talking about
Hmm.
before, right? Like take care of your body, right? As moms, we're and I'm saying this because I'm trying to convince myself of it too, right? Like my workouts are like the first thing that go on my calendar. Like I need to be more committed to my physical health.
Mm.
But it's like stuff always comes up, right? But trying to take care of your body, eat right, exercise, sleep, like prioritizing all that so you can be the best parent, the best mom, and show
Mm.
up every day. It's not just for weight loss or weight management.
Mm.
It's for your cognitive health, your mental health, your skin health. So that's number one. If you're smoking, you got to stop that. If you're tanning, you have to stop that. I mean, if
Mm.
if you're not going to stop tanning, then just scroll on, because nothing else I'm going to say is going to work.
Wow.
You're really just going to waste your money if you keep tanning and you keep getting sunburn. So sun protection's key. Get on a retinoid if you're not already on one. That is such a powerful collagen booster for women in midlife. Especially as we hit perimenopause and menopause, when our collagen is going to take a big hit. Really doing everything you can now to boost it. So getting on a retinol or a retinoid can be really helpful. A vitamin C in the morning can be really helpful. But that's really, you don't need to go much crazier than that with topicals. And then see like someone like a board certified dermatologist if there are areas that bother you. You want to even out your complexion. You might want to do things like neuromodulators or Botox for some wrinkles or crow's feet, things like that. Like, I think sometimes people think cosmetics is like all or nothing, and that you're going to look totally weird and crazy and fake if you start dabbling in it. But just see the right person, and you
Mm.
won't be like that. And it's not like you gotta start and you can never stop. You can play around with things, but sometimes I think people spend hundreds, thousands of dollars on topicals, and if it's like if they had just spent 250 on some Botox, it would have gotten the
Mm.
job done better. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, just first and foremost, take care of your body, your health, and then just keep your skincare simple. And then if you want to kind of up the ante, you want to do more regenerative things then or maintenance, then see a board certified dermatologist, because there are things we can do, and you can still look like you, and you can still look natural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, thanks for shedding light on that because yeah, there are people who don't they no longer look like
I
themselves.
know. Yeah. That is not the goal. The goal
Yeah.
is not to reverse the clock per se. It's like just to
Mm.
look the best and have that have your outside reflect how you feel on
Mm,
the inside. So hopefully you're feeling awesome and amazing and you're feeling great,
yeah.
and we want to have that reflected.
Love that. Love that piece. Love that piece. And for in terms of what to do if, for instance, someone has heard all this and is like, what next? I do want to, see, maybe I do need to see a dermatologist. Maybe they're in Atlanta or somewhere else. Like, how do you navigate? How do you make a decision about who to see and who? Because there's so much information. There's so many people out there doing skin stuff. So how do you make those decisions?
Yeah, well, I think, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a medical doctor and dermatologist, but I mean, I really think I mean, I don't think, I know dermatologists are the experts in skin health. I mean,
Mm,
that's what we've trained and studied for. And again, like I said, your skin is a reflection to your inner health too. So by seeing a dermatologist, they're also assessing more than just the aesthetics.
mm,
They're looking at your overall health by
mhm,
seeing how it's reflected in your skin, and they can catch things like melanomas and skin cancers that are there.
mm,
So I think if you really want the biggest bang for your buck, like go see a true skin expert. I think a lot of times people go from med spa to med spa to med spa, and
mm,
they always seeing different people and nothing, and I feel like you waste a lot of time and money, because each person is going to try to sell you what they do or what they like versus just seeing like one person for like a comprehensive
mm,
eval. So I mean, that's my personal bias. I don't think it's safer, and we're the most trained for these things if you're going to have procedures, because complications happen. They happen to
mm,
everyone. We're human, and we're not like a computer program. So the important thing is, what do you do when the complication happens? Does that person know how to manage that complication if it happens?
mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah, like injecting Botox, a monkey could do it, right? But like, what happens when a complication happens?
Happens.
Or
Yeah.
filler. So I would just say be careful who you see. I joke that people research what light bulb they buy on Amazon more than they research who is doing cosmetic procedures or taking care of their skin. So is this someone who has trained in skin, or is this someone who took a weekend course to do it,
Mm,
or just thinks it's fun? Like, are they actual a healthcare provider or a doctor or a nurse? So just do your due diligence. Like, these are elective things, or not always if you're going in. Well, I guess we're talking cosmetics. So these are elective things. You don't really have to get it done.
mm,
And
mm.
so there's a small margin for error. So
Yeah.
um, the American Academy of Dermatology has a website. You can go to aad.org/find a derm, and you can find a board certified dermatologist in your area. And I would say also just find someone you click with. Like, if someone's got sort of over the top cosmetic appeal, and you're more like granola
Mm,
and all that, like, that maybe isn't a good
yeah.
match. and
Mhm,
and if you want sort of that overdone look, that's what you're going for, then you may not be a great person for me per se, or whatever. So
yeah.
you just want to find someone you like their look, and you like the results that they've had, and that you match with.
I love that. That is so helpful. And that's a perfect segue to how can people find you? Tell us a little bit about the work you do. And, people want
Yeah.
to learn more about skin stuff.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So probably the easiest is just to go wherever you listen to podcast. It's the Skin Reel, which is REAL, not two E's, but for real information. And I put out an episode every Monday. And this week we have Dr. Brown on, so definitely check
Woo!
that out.
Yeah.
Um, and you can go to my website, theskinreel.com. And then if you're wondering, like, well, how do I just create some healthy skin habits for myself? You can get my free PDF that I have if you go to theskinreel.com/habits. And yeah, if you're in Atlanta, check me out at Bachman Mina Derm Surgery.
Awesome. Awesome. So good. This has been just so helpful. I've learned a lot. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And so I hope you guys have heard it. I hope you're taking away some really good, very practical tips. We talked about skincare in kids. We talked about skincare in teenagers as well as in busy moms. So you could find what you connect with and then just run with it. Take one step. And that step might, be going to theskinreal.com to say, okay, you know what, I'm ready to learn more about this. I'm ready to implement. What do I need to do? Or if you're someone who's struggling with sleep issues and, you've done the skincare routine, but you go to bed and your mind is still ticking, or you have a kid who's not sleeping, then absolutely check us out. Come schedule an appointment with us at the restfulsleepmd.com. And this is where we provide sleep services to help optimize your sleep as an adult as well as your kids' sleep if they're struggling. And so that's the restfulsleepmd.com. So thank you again so much for joining us, Dr. Mina, and see everyone next time.
Thank you.
All right.